So Double4Anime was an anime YouTuber who was created in 2011. I don't know his age exactly in the videos. He claims in the description of his first video that he was 14 years old. Over time, he grew his channel, and throughout the years, he would get into inflammatory battles with rival YouTubers, to say the least, and became known for it, and just trolling in general. These would seemingly devolve into racial and religious tirades and just constant outrageous accusations, and eventually he would disappear in 2022, leaving his channel undecipherable. The picture, a juiced lemon, and the name either encrypted or just gibberish. I was immensely curious about this and I just needed to know more. So I delved deeper and found a cryptographic fucking puzzle and years of YouTube drama and controversy that I never knew about. Blew my mind. But we have to start somewhere. So let's start at the beginning. I guess I should define a little bit of my own perspective of Double4Anime first. I did watch his videos in 2013 and 14, but I started to watch him less frequently as the videos he made became less related to anime that I liked and more erratic in general. I used to watch his videos because of the manic energy that he brought to anime reviews. Most channels were, and still kind of are, on the more soft-spoken end of the spectrum, but he was like loud and weird, and I thought it was funny. He would always take his shirt off, go on wild tirades, and many different videos. After he made multiple Boku no Pico reaction videos, I basically gave up hope that there was gonna be content on his channel that I wanted to watch. And for the next few years of my life, I had less access to the internet anyway, so eventually I just kind of faded out. But I did know that nobody started beef like Double4. He had previously made a sports channel called 424 Richard about the same time as his Double4Anime channel. He talked a lot about tennis on this channel and some basketball, but ultimately he stopped uploading content here because of the popularity of the anime content on his other channel. His defense of Naruto, even to the death if necessary, is just wild. He is constantly relating things back to Naruto, and anyone he perceives as having a negative opinion of Naruto is perceived by him as his enemy. There are some other series that he might have defended somewhat like this. As previously mentioned, he seems to be interested in tennis, Yu-Gi-Oh!, basketball, Pokemon. These are things he does still post about on his social media accounts. But Naruto was always the biggest trigger topic for Double4. This was the genesis for his siege of Filthy Frank.
Hello, I don't like to punch the pussy!
We'll get into that later, but keep it in mind for everything that is to come. This obsessive behavior, incomprehensible language, when it seems like his blood pressure is getting kind of high. Next, we're going to go over some of his consistent patterns and his time on YouTube, which can be broken down into like 4 parts or so. We'll start with the troll accounts. Even when I was a viewer of him, he was well known for being the troll account guy. He would make tons of them and use them to do or say whatever he needed in his YouTube agenda. To me, these were large YouTubers at the time. His channel still has 435,000 subscribers on it, and he's been in the dark for at least a year, half a year, as of me writing this. The biggest ones being Code Provider for Neverworld, Outlandish Samurai, and Pyrocynical, and many other YouTubers that spoke out against him. I don't want to go into the specific accusations on either side, because my goal is to find out more why he did this to his channel. Links for everything will be in the description if you're interested in that. We get to the outrageous accusations. Coupled with these troll accounts, he would use these accounts to post even more outrageous opinions in defense of his outrageous opinions. Now, I'm not going to get into the individual remarks of either side or any of the claims because most of what he says is like clearly undefensible. They would just not fly on the internet today. I guess it's a good thing he ended up canceling himself first. They're mostly unhinged tirades anyway. I don't even want to spend the time on that. I already got caught up in way too much other research. So then we get repeat, 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 repeat. Nobody on YouTube has very much nice to say about Double4Anime. Every video I can find is either just straight up insults or trying to analyze his behavior for some kind of reason, but that doesn't ever work out. It never works out at all. So now we get into the bulk of the drama. We're going to be covering firstly the For Never World arc, and then right after that, maybe even during the middle of that happening. I'm not sure exactly on the timeline, but there is the next Filthy Frank arc right in the middle. We're just going to get to the juicy bits here now. Now, at first, they were friends. They seemed like they were pretty close friends, and Double4 was ecstatic to make a friend that was so like-minded as him. He felt incredibly close to For Never World, even confiding in For Never World the secret of his sexuality. Now, from the videos they make together as friends, there's only one that I've watched, so my testing pool is low. But it seems to me in the one that I did watch that For Never World is nervous. Maybe he's just the kind of person that comes across like that on camera. I can't really make any assumptions about that. I've only got one test point, but there does seem to be some kind of worry there. And soon after these events, For Never World would have to cut off their friendship. He was just feeling too weirded out, too uncomfortable with the things that For Never World would do and say. And this prompted what the internet called the breakup video, where Double4Anime made a response to For Never World and the community about how they wouldn't be friends anymore. But soon after this was his greatest achievement. I think the For Never World thing got the idea in his head that it was a good idea to make these kind of strange responses to other YouTubers. And so we get into the siege of filth.
Welcome to the rice field, motherfucker.
Now his siege on the prestigious manor of filth, aka the time Double4Anime went just screeching weeb on Filthy Frank, happened on February 9th, 2016. Rough calculations. The only info I have is that it's 6 days before July 5th, 2016. Now, there's absolutely no defense for this video. The video he made is unsalvageable, but it should be noted that I've watched it a few times now in its original format, and I can't pick out the part where he actually calls for the real-world death of Filthy Frank or George Kusanagi Miller, the creator of Filthy Frank. He mentions several times he needs to be eradicated from the internet, and he does use the word eradicated far too often. That's a strong word to be using here. Maybe I'm just missing the part where he says anything like that, or assuming incorrectly. If you think I'm wrong, definitely let me know in the comments. This will be an ongoing series, so please leave a comment with information down below and I'll check it out. Regardless of the intentions of this video and its very poor presentation, you can't come at a community like Filthy Frank like this on the internet. Even Filthy Frank can't interact with his audience like that. Fallout was catastrophic for him and his channel. If he was battling mental illness before this, which I personally think could be a factor, then honestly, I feel kind of bad for him with all of the just horrible comments that would have been levied at him during this time. Even his statements and the obviously outlandish nature of them and the blatant clickbait nature of his channel aside, he's still a human being that probably shouldn't be told to kill himself for like 10 years straight. Especially if he's already struggling with depression or a mental illness that could make communication difficult for him. This is in no way a defense of his actions or opinions. I'm just saying that when you give someone a taste of their own medicine, it might not necessarily show them the error of their ways. But this point right now is where Pyrocynical comes in. After the man had completely self-destructed, all chances of YouTube credibility, a YouTube career, were basically gone for him at this point. Pyro had made 2 videos about him, but the first is just your standard YouTube commentary channel stuff. I don't even think Pyro thought anything would come of it. It was just another reaction on his channel. He does all sorts of like reacting to cringe content and stuff. But Double4 did himself absolutely no favors in this situation. And on top of that, this was 2016. YouTube drama had evolved. You couldn't do this shit anymore. But the thing I want to get to is the response. I forget what he called it, but I just call it brah, brah, brah. Because this is where Double4 shot his own career with a rifle. Holy shit, guys! This absolutely infamous Double4Anime video was the final nail in the coffin for this man. This man decided that it would be a good idea to make a response video in which he is in his boxers with a suit top on and a t-shirt underneath, brandishing a rifle and continuously repeating the phrase brah, brah, brah. I don't even know, like, I have no idea anymore. This is insanity. In the video, it's been like a minute out of 6, and he doesn't even address any points. He doesn't even try to say anything. So far, he hasn't even tried to, like, even rebuttal in any way. It's just very childish, kind of, like, basic responses of, like, well, actually, the things on my wall behind me are not anime, sir. They are, in fact, manga. Like, bro, you already can't expect it to be taken seriously doing what you're doing. You can't say that, too. You can't actually be that fucking unaware of yourself. I love the part where he goes, no, I'm not going to kill Pyro. Just to be real with you guys, like, I'm not gonna kill Pyro. I'm not about that shit. Unless my life is threatened, you know what I mean? Like, he knows this is a joke, in a way. Like, because of that line, he has to know that in some way, this is a joke, even to him. But you can see this strange tonal difference between, like, how he's acting, how he decided to present himself in the video, and, like, some of what he's saying. And, like, none of these things fit together. They don't make sense together.
I don't care what you call the video, he's making fun of vegans. So I know he stated, you see, I don't care what he stated. I don't care if he's like, oh, you know, disclaimer, I don't hate all of them, but, you know, the ones that do this, blah. I learned one thing from Naruto is to have courage and to never give up.
This is the part of the video that's still his legacy to this day. On his Wikitubia page, it says his 2 quotes are, brah, 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 and, you know, I learned one thing from Naruto, and that's to have courage and never give up. When I first started doing research for this video, I found those 2 quotes on his Wikitubia page immediately with 0 context, and I just died laughing. I could not stop. I figured those 2 things had to be from different videos, but no, they're said back to back in the same YouTube drama response video. We see this strange mix of, like, far too extreme in both directions. Like, he'll go completely rationally explaining something, like, you have a large fan base, you should be more careful about the shit that you decide to hate on, because tons of your people are gonna flood into videos and hate on them, and that doesn't feel good. But then he does things like hold up his rifle and go blah blah blah. Bro, what the fuck? You're mixing messages here. You're sending mixed signals here, bro. I don't understand it.
And I'm not saying we're going to be doing, like, destroying them or anything like that. Like, we're not going to be terminating them. But what we will be doing is we'll be helping them. We'll make sure they don't do that shit again.
You would just re-educate them. Just go to the Double4Anime re-education camp.
Like, that's why all that bullshit needs to go. All that shit, I'm going to take that and go brah, brah, brah.
You know, if you took some time to prepare
I love his own fast cuts, dude. Like he has the best comedic timing fast cuts. He's like blah 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 blah, and like in the middle of the sound it cuts to pyro. Hey, it's fucking comedic genius, bro. And so this is what Double4Anime decided to do after his failure of the Siege of Filth. So now we're moving on to post-2019 at least. The next video I have that was made about him was one by Sunscape. And this is kind of the one that sent me on this journey because I saw it and it was so radically different from the Double4 that I knew from 2014 or whatever. So on March 4th, 2021, Sunscape made a video discussing Double4Anime. He goes on to talk about how strange Double4Anime's videos have gotten. Apparently up till March 4th, 2021, he had started posting very personal videos on his YouTube channel where he was divulging like personal information about him and his parents and his family in general. He uses the phrases like, this is too weird unless you're known for that, or a red flag and he needs help. Whether they're accurate observations or not, he doesn't really delve into it anymore. He doesn't cite anything or like link any videos or anything like that. He does have a couple of screenshots where you can see like he has like Yu-Gi-Oh unboxings, but you know, I don't know the contents of any of these videos or whether he said anything like actually risky or not in them because they're all gone now. Alright, so now we're going to get into the cryptics of it. At this point, the Kiwi Farms thread was in full swing and the harassment had begun in full force. Basically all the way back in 2016, days after he made his first Filthy Frank video. He attempted to maintain his channel during this time, but he would post content up until at least 2020, which is estimated, with his last public video looking like a Boruto review. And in 2019, he had hidden or deleted all but 4 or 5 of his videos, according to the Kiwi Farms thread. They posted screenshots of it. So my estimation is that between like January 2022 and July 2022, he for some reason decided to erase every trace of his main channel from the internet. Just left this cryptic image and a string of letters for his name. And now that brings me to something that was difficult to find a place to put earlier, even though I wanted to. The language. And this is where we get into the weeds for real now. The name of his channel and the notes that he writes on his Instagram, to me they're very odd and unnerving almost. Maybe it's another language. If it is, Google Translate, you know, can't detect the language. Maybe it's an acronym he came up with. That was my first thought. So I ran it through an Albed translator 10 times. Et nilha pedarul. So I think we need more research on that. Or it just means nothing to us without some kind of cipher. His Instagram seems to indicate that he makes up his own language. This is corroborated by some posts about him and his strange behavior on Kiwi Farms and, you know, comment responses on YouTube. Some of what he posts just seems like his Amazon Alexa listened in on the conversation and just like accidentally posted something. But one of his friend's responses to his strange notes made me think of something Make it so we can understand it and help you, which is an interesting thing to post. It would suggest that at some point he got just sick of translating things from what he thought of into communication with other people. This, might have come from the shit that happened to him online. We won't know until he says something about it. Either way, as soon as I found this, it felt like I was stumbling into some kind of ARG. Like, it's hard to tell at this point whether what he's doing or has been doing on the internet is fake or not. Like, what's happening? Is he doing it as a parody to get attention, or is he actually lashing out like this? Basically, it seems like his entire existence left over on the internet is like a really bad sneeze. One where you're like at work and you couldn't have gotten all of it, but it looks enough like you did, so you just get back to work. I have emailed Double4 himself. I want to see if he's willing to talk to me about his side of the story and maybe tell me about what happened. If he will allow me to make a video about that, I would be incredibly grateful, but I understand if he doesn't want to do that or talk to me at all. So who knows what'll happen with that in the future, but I am trying to show respect for all the parties here. Obviously, it goes without saying, do not go and contact anybody that I've mentioned in this video, and if you do, be respectful of them. They are human beings. And so now we'll get to the only one left. And this video is only strange once you start to think about it more. Like, why is this the last one that he left live on his channel? This is a video he posted on June 9th, 2011, titled Naruto Shippuden Episode 215 Review. Now, this was like one day after he had created his channel, and the current description of the video is 14-year-old me, LMAO. This is 8 months after he created his first YouTube channel, 424 Richard, the sports one, and the video plays out pretty average normally. It's just some kid excitedly talking about Naruto. I used to make shitty anime videos, I get it, but about 1 minute 13 seconds, 1 minute or so, he says that the next part is filler. I think he's talking about the episode, and then the audio desyncs from the video. So for the rest of the video, he continues to talk about Naruto. A lot of it's about Karin, I think, because they're on the Samurai Bridge. Yeah, and he just finishes the video, the audio is desynced from it, and that's that. A pretty standard 14-year-old YouTube video, or it's a pretty standard YouTube video from a 14-year-old, Because at this point, I believe that everything that's happening on his channel, or everything that he's decided to leave or show there, is trying to send some kind of message. You can come to your own conclusions on that. I don't want to be like some philosophy class or something, but all of the decisions made seem to be for some reason. From the picture to the name to the videos to the channels linked. Speaking of the channels linked, most of them I've never heard of any of them before. Besides himself, there's Bob Samurai Reviews. Most interestingly, actualize.org. And actualize.org posts like multi-hour seminars and like relaxation videos, and they do videos about like how psychedelics are good for you and what is ego, and there's tons of stuff that they do. It's all this like spirituality and self-help and mental health and like relaxation and meditation, that sort of thing. And so that's very interesting. I've never seen that on his channel before, and I wonder when he started to do this, when he actually linked them. All of these things together seem to suggest to me that he is no longer interested in communicating with the internet. That could possibly extend to people in his life, family and friends, because he does receive worried messages from his father, who's trying to help financially support him. And like I noted earlier, he gets worried messages from his friends on Instagram. Up to current times, he's still posting those notes and things like, I think his last one that I saw was July 4th. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just crazy looking for conspiracy theories on YouTube. But this story just left me feeling like sad. Like, how can it end like this? Like, There's not a bang, not a fizzle, no closure. It's like, are you okay, Double 4? Like, what's happening? Are you okay? Why are you leaving cryptic messages on Instagram and deleting your YouTube? There's many different reasons that you could come up with. A lot of people on the internet are saying that he got bullied into insanity. In fact, one of the posts on Kiwi Farms is 10 out of 10 would bully into psychotic break again, which is just a gem of a comment, honestly. But he could have just got sick of all the negative attention and just left the internet, just left it behind. He probably wasn't making money off of it by then anyway. But that brings up the question, why is he doing the Instagram thing? Maybe he's just shitposting on Instagram to get losers like me to talk about him. I don't know. Maybe he had been struggling with mental illness his whole life and it just happened to get worse now. We won't know until he tells us. Regardless, just in case he sees this video, Richard, I really hope that there's at least one place where you can feel like understood and something and safe and comfortable. But you also have to remember that you can't get upset at others for not understanding, exactly what you mean. There has to be some kind of middle ground. I just want the ciphers to your notes, bro. Like, just DM me. DM me the ciphers, bro. Come on. There's like 2 random notes that I couldn't fit in anywhere, but I thought they were really funny, so I'm going to throw them right at the end. So he really, really seems to enjoy Dunkin' Donuts, and he still rides a ripstick in the year 2022. I guess if you watched it this far, you deserve some of the fun facts. So give us the damn ciphers!